Okay, Bismillah, it's live.
Stand up and stand up and be like, let's stand up.
You wipe the butt of it.
No, listen. Start I'm talking about start one person. Some people, I see in my eyes.
I believe
Some
hard to
some people stand up and do. So please come close. How you want to go to sit in wash this time?
yeah.
Everybody helps. Nothing wrong with الوضوء ما يصير لا يصحى لي كم شيء الحمد لله تعبان لما طلع بغير حديث يكم المسجد اللهم افتح لي ابواب رحمتك يصير لو جوه some people الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم كان لا يشوش قارئكم على مصليكم. He would read Quran loud because the person pray more important for his after لا يشوش قارئكم على مصليكم. Like he would be there sometimes I did the Fatiha 3 times. You know what I say? This Hadith of Prophet come from me.
Yeah. If I do that, I'll follow it.
يوم جمعة it's not you. يوم Friday حتى the people that come to جمعة early get more feet more reward. Plus we see فمن دعا فلا جمعة كذا. People who shake hands, people no shake hands after Salah. People play with the telephone. Play in the house. Because when Salah is time, no crowd. There's some rocks. People play in the rocks. كذا فلا جمعة كذا. Anybody can play with the telephone now. Messages, no messages. We have to play. This والله this is more important. This is
Well, actually, after we finish long leg, we're actually going to get into the.
Well, no. So smell like what's the Yeah, there's no.
finish
It's a lot of detergents.
I think somebody put it in there.
It's like a common thing.
Real like side of your brain.
Yeah, put like salami.
Real.
That's what it is.
I used to have sure you have 1,000 people here. 1,000 people not five, 2,000, 3,000.
I'm going to tell Munchie to put you on the.
No, like today's.
All right, Salam alaikum. We're going to get started.
Hey, brother Jamal, we give us some shot before they get it off.
This is an only so
Yeah. So these are the 40 days you said.
yeah, this particular well, it's not the famous 40 Hadith, but it's David. So that's what a lot of scholars would do. They would collect 40 Hadith to talk about a particular topic.
What's this one about?
So these, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in, amma ba'd.
So this is kind of what happens to a microphone. The thing gets stripped, right?
when you do this, you're supposed to undo the thing, then move it, and then tighten it. And you don't, and you just do that, it is short. So, so tonight we continue talking about the 40 hadith, and now we're into the last 10. The last 10 hadith, and all of these hadith are collected by Sheikh Ali Hassan al-Halabi, rahimahullah, one of the students of Sheikh Muhammad Nasruddin al-Albani, rahimahullah. And he collected these hadith to talk about the topic of the Islamic personality, that how we should be and behave as Muslims, the things that, you know, as we represent ourselves. And he said that he wrote it mainly because of the youth. The youth were in a sea of information. We have a lot of stuff, and it's even more. He wrote this in like the 70s or the 80s. He wrote it in the 80s, and the book actually came out 1995, which was when I graduated, and I became Muslim in 1996. So,
You're old, dude.
yeah.
It's time to get in there.
So, but even now, you know, we have with the internet, with YouTube, with TikTok, Twitter, and all the things that we have, Instagram, that the people are in a sea of information, and they don't know, they don't have the guidance always, as we've talked about recently. You know, they're just out there with information, there's no guidance, and they just take it wherever they want to. So he wrote this so that the Muslim has some type of way of looking at how the Prophet ﷺ and the companions were, so that we can behave like them. Right? And we can produce an Islamic personality. We carry ourselves as Muslims, and what that means. And so, this hadith is, hadith 31, is that the Muslim is contented and satisfied. Muslim is contented and satisfied. From Abu Hurairah, radiallahu anhu, who said, that Allah's Messenger, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, who said, richness, laysa al-ghina an kathratil arab. Right? Richness is not from having many belongings. وَلَكِنَّ الْغِنَى, but richness, yeah, this is the idea. وَلَكِنَّ الْغِنَى غِنَى النَّفْسِ, richness of the soul. So, again, he said richness is not in having many belongings. And we say, when someone is rich, we say that they are ghani. And ghina, meaning that they are free of wants. Right? When we say that Allah is al-ghani, it means He doesn't need anything. And so when we talk about someone being rich, they're not needy. Right?
They still need Allah.
Yeah, of course, they need Allah, but as far as financially, they have their means.
But a lot of poor people are more happy than rich people.
Yeah.
Like that saying, the more money, the more problems.
Yeah, more money.
Like a lot of rich people are depressed, and like Robert Williams,
Robin Williams, yeah.
yeah, he had millions. He was the actor.
There's a lot of people that are like that.
He made people smiling. He was dying on the inside.
But this is saying, this hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, he's trying to say that we have to start to look at what is wealth. It's not in having many belongings, not the rich car, the nice car, the fancy house, the clothes. He says, but richness or being wealthy is the richness of the soul. Ghina and nafs. The richness of the soul, and like he says, it is contentment. Contentment. And this hadith is reported by Bukhari. So the Shaykh, he says, so the greatest of riches that you can attain, O servant of Allah, is contentment of one's soul. And having a contented heart, and this will not be achieved except through humbling oneself before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and calling upon Him in supplication and in placing reliance upon Him. So when we talk about contentment, that means that whatever you have is enough. Right? It's not that a person doesn't have ambition for certain things,
But piling up all of the wealth of the world, that's not his focus. It's not what he wants to do.
Can't take you with you.
You can't take it. That's the thing. So if you get a happy within yourself and you don't need the other things. And he says that this is not achieved except by humbling yourself before Allah and calling upon him and placing your reliance upon him. When we rely upon Allah, we don't need a lot of other things to fill our souls.
All we need is Allah.
Listen.
I was about to say, submit your will to God. Being a Muslim, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it.
You don't need nothing but this submit to God.
Sorry if I'm eating. I took my medication.
Are you good? You already pooped?
Not yet. I've been doing good with that. So the Sheikh, he says,
So it ain't the poop medicine.
so, you know, it is.
Oh,
My body getting used to it.
oh, okay.
So he whose soul, we'll see you later. So he whose soul is contented and rich will increase in his devotion to the religion of Islam. Right? If you are content with what you have, you're not worried about the greener grass, you're not trying to go after everything and trying to, like you said, can't take it with you, you're trying to build everything so that someone else can have it. You know, if you're, like I said, you're content within your soul. He said this will increase your devotion to the Deen of Islam. From Ka'ab ibn Malik al-Ansari, radiallahu anhu, who said that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, 2 hungry wolves, ما ذئبان جاتعان أرسلا في غنم فافسد لها من حرص المرء على الماء والشرف لدينه. 2 hungry wolves. So this is what we would call a parable. So the Prophet ﷺ, he gives us an image in our head. 2 hungry wolves let loose amongst sheep will not cause more harm to them, to those sheep, than a person craving after wealth and status will do to his religion.
All I.
So imagine these wolves. And there was this movie called The Gray. Have you ever seen The Gray? With Liam Neeson. He's out there in the wilderness and his wolves are like hunting.
I still get up. What's that one movie? Into the Wild.
Yes, yes, you do. You do that. It's
That's beautiful movie.
But he says 2 hungry wolves. So we imagine that the wolves are not just wolves, right? They're hungry. And it's not just one of them, it's 2 of them. And they're let loose among sheep. The sheep, what do sheep do to defend themselves?
No. Roll over it. Dead.
Yeah, but what can they do?
No.
Because the wolf still knows. He still wants to meet, even if you act like you did. Right? All they can do is bad. But if we think of what danger if these 2 wolves come out into this flock of sheep, they're just going to just start killing. Right? He says they don't do more harm to those sheep than you or I or anyone craving after wealth and status will do to our deen. So our deen is the sheep.
For your faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do we have these days? We have people that are chasing money.
Yep, they're doing it.
They're chasing after status. They're literally, this is literally talking about going after clout. You're chasing after wealth and status, and it will tear up, devour, massacre your deen. And they won't know it.
right? The sad thing is, a lot of people do that for the sake of Islam, or this is what they say, right? And we always have to be careful of this, right? It's not for us to be like, well, I don't do that. The people that do that, shame on them, right? No, we have to be worried about, am I chasing after wealth, right? Am I chasing after a status? I want my name in lights.
Reflect on yourself.
We always have to reflect on ourselves. And be careful, because these things can do damage to our religion. And so the Shaykh, and this hadith is from Ahmed and Tirmidhi, and also Al-Bukhari related it in a different book, but it is still Sahih. And then the Shaykh, he just quotes Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali's explanation of the hadith. And so Ibn Rajab was a scholar who, he didn't write a book on 40 hadith, but he wrote a book explaining the 40 hadith of Imam al-Nawawi. And his explanation is one of the famous. It's called Jami' al-Ulum wal-Hikam. So he said, so this is a very great example struck by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
You have the table remote. Yeah, how do we sometimes the price now?
I don't have it.
Jamal, brother Jamal, do you have the TV remote? We need to get that out for there.
Did someone cast into it? Oh, there.
There we go.
What the hadith?
All right, so it says,
No, there was something on the TV, it's gone now.
so he said, this is a very great example struck by the Prophet ﷺ, showing how the Muslim's religion is destroyed by craving after wealth and worldly status. It shows that the corruption to one's religion caused by this is no less than the destruction caused if two ravenous wolves were left to spend the night amongst a flock of sheep whose shepherd was absent, and they were free to slaughter and feed at will. Again, this is the Muslim craving after wealth, craving after worldly status, destroys the deen. So he says, so as is clear in such a state, none of the sheep, except perhaps a few, will survive the carnage caused by the two wolves. So Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam informed that a person's craving after wealth and status, as we say, clout chasing, will not cause less damage than the damage caused to the sheep by the two wolves. Rather, the damage caused will either be the same or greater. This shows that when a person craves after wealth and status, not much of the Muslim's religion will remain unharmed. Just as only a few of the sheep would escape the destruction caused by the two wolves. And there's actually a book, and it mentions here, which is the entire explanation of the hadith, is the evil of craving for wealth and status.
It's like very bad for the deen, but also even if apart from the deen, like it didn't make you a miserable person. Because you'll never be satisfied, never be happy.
Right.
You always want, always chasing.
And that's why he said, being content leads you to take more focus on your religion.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're not content, you're always going to be going after, like you said, well, money, the status.
New iPhone.
Yeah. And you're going to show it. So the Shaykh, he said, so flee, may Allah have mercy upon you, from this mad craving after this world and its finery. And there is no salvation from that which has been destined for a person. Whatever you're going to get, it's already written.
Yeah, it's already written.
So there's no way, like if you're destined to be something, you're not going to get away from it. Right? No matter what you do, no matter if you spent all the money in the world, whatever Allah Ta'ala decreed for you is going to happen. So he said to the Muslim, or he said, so he who wishes for salvation, then let it be the case that his desire for his religion is his foundation and guiding principles. The only way you're going to be saved is by your deen. He said, if this is so, then Allah will protect him and protect his religion. He said, then from the comprehensive matters that should be known is how the Muslim deals with people. And this comes under some of the etiquettes, just like we were talking earlier. There are etiquettes, how the Muslim deals with his Lord, and etiquettes of how we're supposed to deal with the Prophet ﷺ, and how we deal with the companions, and how we deal with the scholars, and how we deal with the masjid, how we deal with schools, all these type of things. But one of those things is that we deal with the people in a particular way. And this one is from Aisha radiallahu anha, who said that a man sought permission to enter upon the Prophet ﷺ. And so the Prophet ﷺ said, give permission to him, and what a bad son of his people, or what a bad man of his people. Let him in, but he's a bad guy. Then when he entered, the Prophet ﷺ spoke politely to him. He was nice to him, but he still did that this was the guy. Let him in, he's a bad person from his people, but he was still polite to him. Aisha said, so I said, O Messenger of Allah, you said about him what you said, and then you spoke politely to him. You were nice to him. You felt this way about him, but you talked nicely to him. He said, O Aisha, the worst people in station before Allah on the day of resurrection are those whom people desert or abandon in order to save themselves from their evil speech. Again, he said, the worst people in station, in status before Allah on the day of resurrection are those who the people desert or abandon in order to save themselves from their evil speech. Someone says something evil and people want to leave. We see this all the time in social media nowadays, in the news. Someone says something and people want to distance themselves from it, right? They cancel that person because of what he said. And the Prophet ﷺ is saying, the worst people on Yom Qiyamah is that people left those people in order to save themselves from that person's evil speech. And so the Shaykh, he says, so the Muslim treats a close friend in the manner befitting one for whom he has love. And he treats the clear enemy with caution and remains on his guard. Right? So he treats the friend with that closeness. He doesn't have that filter. He shows him love. You know, if it's someone that I love, that's a close friend, and I show him the love. But I treat the enemy with caution because this person may be a bad person. And I'm not going to go like some people, they're enemies of the police, right? And when the police does something to them, and they say something, they just pull him over. This guy, he's already, because he hates the police, he's going to cuss the cop out. He doesn't know what the cop is going to do. The cop may kill it. The cop may arrest him. The cop may, maybe the cop is just going to let him go with a warning. They didn't. So we treat the clear enemy with caution and remain on our guard. He says he treats the worst of people in a manner which does not make apparent to him what he thinks of it in his heart. And so on. Each one is treated in the appropriate manner. Right? Because when you look at that hadith, it may seem, and maybe this is what Aisha was alluding to. Well, you said this about this person, but you treated him this way. Does that make a person two-faced? Right? You said all this, but then when he's in your face, you say this. You're two-faced. Right? But here, as the Sheikh is explaining, that the Prophet ﷺ said that this is a bad person from his people. He's allowed to come in, but the Prophet ﷺ is dealing with him cautiously. I'm going to say words of respect. Yeah, the Prophet ﷺ is not going to hug him and bear hug him and do all this type of stuff and treat him like he's a close friend. But he understands who the guy is and he gives him that due respect. Like treat the people with that type of respect, because we can't be stupid. Like if I
So I would treat them with respect, but like,
yes, and be smart about it. Be smart about it. You may not think he's anything, but don't treat him like he's not.
yeah.
Because you never know how someone's going to react to something.
Come man.
So he said, this is from the knowledge necessary for giving dawah. That he treats everyone in the manner befitting their varying inclination and manner. So someone may come to you, as we see on some of the videos, the people come with a very bad manner and giving dawah.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
And the person, you have to be calm and you have to sometimes not even match their energy. Sometimes your energy has to be the opposite.
Trying to,
Right.
tell them where they will accept it and bring it in and like maybe change their way of thinking and be a Muslim. The goal is to make them a Muslim and then like me right.
Right. So you treat the person in that manner. So recently on Facebook, I posted something,
Here we go.
and a girl I grew up with, Christian, and she posts something on there. And she's like, I'm Christian, but I don't think that it's right to force the religion on anyone. And she was posting some links, for us, because she was saying, like in the state of Texas, what the plan is to try to change it to force Christianity to be taught in the public schools and stuff like that. Well, a Muslim get on there and he's attacking her. I said, why are you attacking her? She's trying to help us. You're telling her, your religion, the mark of Cain, I'm like, that's irrelevant. Where are your manners?
One acting like a Muslim.
Exactly.
So what now? I used to like sometimes I say like controversial stuff.
Yeah.
And, like I get a lot of bad reactions. And I used to like go back and forth. But like now I just like it and keep moving. But everything don't need to respond.
That's true.
And then again, I'm not being a good Muslim. Not like showing the characteristics of a Muslim if I'm arguing or back and forth.
That's right, because manners are important.
Yeah, I do.
Very important. And some of the scholars like Imam Malik, rahimahullah, he said that he learned manners before he learned them.
Mm.
And that's one of the things that you learn from sitting with the sheikh, is that you will pick up some manners, right? And some etiquettes. And sometimes the sheikh may have bad manners, right? But because you're learning different manners, you're learning the sunnah, you know what to take from him and what not. Right? So he said, it will not be hidden that one of the best ways of cementing ties, right? Because again, calling people, and not dawah just to non-Muslims. When we say dawah, it's not just to non-Muslims. We're calling to Muslims as well. We have to have these type of manners. We have to treat people in a way that helps us to bring the people closer to Allah. So he said that one of the best ways of cementing ties and improving relations is visiting brothers. Visiting brothers.
That's Hadith that if a visit our brothers in the hospital.
Yes. Yeah. And our sisters. Their sister, sister Valentina, I was able to visit her. Very nice sister.
Hey, I got a quick question. This is off
She lost the
topic.
legs.
This is off topic. But the brother that I think he got executed in his last words, who was it? Like, why is everybody like, what was that?
Well, because he was,
Texas.
no, he's from Missouri. He was from Missouri, in, St.
So,
Louis.
like, did he get wrongly convicted or
Yes,
something?
he was wrongly convicted. The DNA, that they collected from the crime scene, his wasn't there, the woman's husband wasn't there. It was, they only convicted him because on the testimony of an ex-girlfriend and her man, and both of them are dead.
Imagine that.
And then even the prosecutor that put him in jail was fighting for his innocence. But the state attorney wanted the execution.
Did he get executed?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was executed.
They had to show.
May Allah Ta'ala have mercy.
Crazy.
So,
So
Was
they
he Muslim?
knew that the DNA
Yeah.
was there, they knew this, and they went to the thing, but they wanted it to happen. I don't know why they didn't do a stay of execution to try and investigate, but they
That
wanted
just happened though.
they wanted to keep the date. Yeah, he was executed yesterday.
yeah.
I could see like back in the day, but now like that shit happened.
Well, he spent 20 years in prison. Again, he was the imam in his particular facility.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
he's
got a strong faith.
And his last name was Williams, although I don't know. One of my students, he messaged me and he said, "Are you related to him?" I was like, "I said, not that I know." But again, may Allah Ta'ala,
may Allah accept him for
his final statement was,
bad and bad.
Alhamdulillah ala kulli hal. Now you're facing death and you say,
Oh,
praise be to Allah in every situation.
Alhamdulillah.
So his last hadith, and I think this is the last one,
That's a shame.
because we're going to do a review.
I would read it.
Visiting brothers, right?
Say,
A lot of you brothers do the Jola. Jola, right?
the Farouj.
Yeah, and go Khuluz, go visit some people, other places, and knock on the door.
San
Maybe they don't want to see you. They're like,
Texarkana. I went to Texarkana.
I did that before.
oh, I've done it before plenty of times. I've had them come to my door. I'm like, I go to the minister every day, right?
You still get rewarded.
Yeah.
This is the main thing, get rewarded. Like went to Texarkana 3 days, went to visit the brother, we didn't know her, the brothers.
Yeah.
Just ask him, we are in the masjid,
No, I understand.
All those-
I don't believe me. I used to.
Used to
It's all about intention. If your intention
So just Friday,
is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a great
No,
thing.
sir, no other salah. Want to visit her? No, mashallah. Dhuhr, Asr, Fajr.
If you're there to please, if you're there to
You help him out,
hide out from your wife,
This masajid, just so.
I can
All right, so Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu was said,
How much reward did you
he said that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, a man went out to visit a brother of his in a different village. So we talking about the reward of these type of things. So Allah Ta'ala put an angel and wait for him on the road. Imagine you're going out to go visit somebody else, and Allah puts an angel there. You don't know it's an angel. You just think it's just some guy. And so when an angel came to him, he said, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to visit a brother in this village." He said, "Is it that you have done something for him for which you seek repayment?" He said, "No. It's just that I love him for Allah's sake." He said, "Then I am one sent by Allah to you to inform you that Allah, the mighty majestic, loves you just as you have loved for his sake." Imagine now, just because, and this is one of the things that is said to be of the sweetness of Iman, that you love somebody else for no other reason other than Allah's sake.
سد السبعة ظلهم في ظل لا ظل إلا ظله وجدان تحابا في الله وتفرق عليه.
So yeah, you only meet for Allah and you only separate for Allah.
I love you for the sake of
And
Allah.
I love you for the sake of Allah, and may the one who you love me for love you.
If it wasn't for Allah, I would hate you.
So this is people. This is the علاقات الذكر.
Yeah.
How much reward he get? People go to outside Allah. This is the man. You know how much he get benefit. For this,
That's
nobody know.
that's why they're gonna put you on Facebook.
Don't think he's running it right now.
I'm going to zoom in on. That's on Facebook now?
Yeah, it's live on YouTube.
What?
Yeah, he wants channel.
He wants.
He wants world.
I went to Venezuela 2 times. I went to Mexico.
How you think of which type of you want world?
Yeah,
You know, you think that I can send it. Because you do it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometime when I come to the masjid, but to bring in the masjid, start come to masjid. Look how much reward you get. It's the hadith says, إذا اجتمعوا القوم, but just gathering together and read the hadith and listen to the hadith, Allah forgive everybody.
Even the guy who wasn't listening.
Like Hanukkah.
Yeah.
This is more important. On the share,
So
20 minutes.
So Sheki says, so it is distance causes detachment. Right? In America, we have the saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder. But here it says, distance causes detachment. You're far away from people, and that's the other saying that we have, out of sight, out of mind.
And familiarity breeds contempt.
And familiar, well,
I heard that every day.
But think about that one though.
But yeah, a lot of
Locked up, out of sight, out of mind. That's all.
And that is the unfortunate thing, and I'm guilty of that.
And absence
Because
makes the heart
a lot of
grow
times
fond.
We would go visit the brothers in the prison, and then we did, and they're like, oh, wow, what happened to the brothers? They're like, man, I got a life out of here, man. What's going on?
That's a hard sticky, any way you look at it, that's a hard job. Visiting brothers in penitentiary or being in the penitentiary is it's all hard, and very sad, and it takes a real da'i to do that,
Yeah.
you know.
It's like when somebody like constantly like helps the brother that's locked up, like commissary. That's like real love.
Yeah. And then
Somebody,
What's somebody on the book?
you know, yeah, that's real love there. As a matter of fact, don't
We
be.
used to, when Eid came around, the brothers would ask, and we would, alhamdulillah, sometimes we were able to accommodate them, but we would actually go and slaughter something and get them the meat. And this was, they really, really loved it.
Oh, sure.
But we'll finish up.
Look,
So he says, so visiting causes hearts to become polished and come together. And because of it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves his servants when we visit each other. So that there is comprehensive good for the servants of Allah. Allah's mercy encompasses them and enters them into paradise. This, however, cannot be attained unless the incentive for it is the Muslim's character, and that's where we're going to end. So from the Hadith, like I said, we started the last 10. So we said that the Muslim is contented and satisfied. The richness is not in having many belongings, but richness is in the richness of the soul. And
fill it up for the work there. After finish.
we said that 200 wolves let loose among sheep will not cause more harm to them than a person's craving after wealth and status will do to his religion. So Muslim, we really have to keep it humble, right? We're not chasing after wealth. We're not chasing after clout. We're trying to do our thing, be content with our lives. And then lastly, that we deal with the people. As the Prophet ﷺ, he recognized that this person was a bad person, and so he treated him in a way that was cautious and respectful to him. He didn't disrespect him, even though he had this type of opinion about it. And he said that the worst people are those people that get abandoned or deserted because people are trying to save themselves from that person's evil talk. And then lastly, that we should visit brothers, and this is something that will help to unite us and to bring about the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? And that is whether the person is in the hospital or in their home, if they're just someone, like when I go back home, I love to see them. Which one are you at? The El Dorado? Are you at the El Dorado or not? Where are you at?
Where are you?
Nah.
Where's the El Dorado?
I see you hear it.
Okay. All right, then let it be known. Facebook. I asked him
But
where
you
he was
never
at.
been.
I heard
You know where I'm at.
where you are.
If you would respond to my text,
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know you just playing.
brother.
No, I'm not the good.
I don't-
May Allah make it, may Allah make us all good brothers and cause us to love each other. All right, we'll go ahead and end here. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
On
No.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الله يقول في مطرب احمد محمد الزعبي كان عندي غزال